malo seifua talo falava ia lo mo principal lovi yo ave maua mane fionga antare si fai fai masui al proclame tulanga mo atao ya fata se mane fionga atare.
Good morning and welcome back to our youth show. My name is Melissa Dorsey-Lifau. I am the founder of Brown Girl Woke, a nonprofit that recruits, educates, and trains youth to do critical issues in their community. This is a big month for us, Prince. It's not only Independence Month, it felt really fast, but it's also Pride Month. And Pride Month, for anyone that doesn't know what Pride is a month dedicated to the LGBTIA community on just celebrating who they are and what they have done for our community. They've done a lot. We're excited again. This is a youth show. We always say that on our show it's a safe space, that we want to talk about issues that are happening with our youth, especially during COVID, a time where we should get to know our kids better, our family better, and what's happening out there. Conference.
Fatawina lawana imasinga ya ale se masinga tawuni ya mato pokalame ya mufamna tuina foyo tuto se samo alenga telea yo le fatawina ole onisho tulanga ya no pena foi lan ma pokalame ni ya ma fata se foi mato fata se foi onisho suyo ale so si fa finge tono le papa ngala le NS yo lo mato ma foto ni ya ye fa lo foi se la se la tota ua te tonu o le tatou atunu ia po le matafa ioi fo'i masali ai ia pea ona tatou iloa ia le toatele lava o se tatou atunu e iai lava ia sui o fa'afafige ia fa'atalafa atu i luasuga.
Good morning, Prince. Good morning, Doris. Good morning, Falava, and good morning, everyone that is watching. My name is Des. I'm currently a student at the National University of Samoa, and as you have mentioned, this month is Pride Month, and I am a member and the president of the Lipifa'a, the Papangangala Fa'afafine Association, as the hosts have mentioned. This was a group that was created with the intention of bringing about a safe space for the young youth known as Fa'afafine, who are Fa'afafines in the National University of Samoa, to creating the safe space has allowed us to share amongst ourselves any issues that we may have faced. Bullying is one issue, suicide was another, and we felt that creating this group and creating this safe space had to be the most appropriate move for us to make, for us to be able to share amongst ourselves so that we wouldn't be facing these problems alone, and that we know that we are all together in this, and that, thank you very much.
Okay, good morning and salo falava Samoa. Salo for ile fonga po kalame le ni sola tsaya o alo semul pola o ma o fo yo suyo le pifa po le society po la sosi fo e fa fene so le university ni papengala mo le sila fiesta so watunu fa pele po kalame le ni tsaya o le lwa ni o tsanga tsalo fa baile ne sosi mai so sanga lwa filosofo pe fi ona fo sia se le so ya des ni se tulanga wala I ona fa smoina ni ne asosi pe wala fo ona fa baile ma so sosi sono le university ya so fa tsalo fa ma fa felo ya tsele ne tsula tsaya.
Are you guys the only club, young LGBT club in Samoa?
Yes, I believe so.
I think it's exciting to know that, especially for, you mentioned youth, and you mentioned bullying and suicide issues, and we know that happens with all youth, but a lot of youth have different resources to go to, so it's a great idea. Dude, who established this group?
So we have the mother figure at school. She works at the NUS. She goes by the name Jeremiah, which we are very grateful for. And she brought up this initiative because she saw that there were so many of us at school, and yet we didn't have a proper proper group to come to get together. So we thought that this was, she thought that this was the perfect opportunity. We started off as a group chat where we could just share funny stuff, and it ended up to working towards to making this group an official association. So we have already written up a constitution to provide guidelines to what we should act accordingly to, and we are moving along to register under a which organization that does it?
Nonprofit. Oh, MSIL.
MSIL, so we could officiate and make this association a official one.
And you guys, your group, you guys probably realize that you guys go through a lot when you come together. Sometimes, especially for youth, they think they go through life on their own. Like, this only happens to me, and that's why it's good to have a group, especially the LGBTQIA group, to make sure that they're not alone and that your struggles need to be heard, and we need to know what's happening, because there has been a lot of incidents in your community, and sometimes you believe that because you're ostracized by the community, you deserve things, you deserve hate, you deserve pain, but you don't.
Yeah, that's very true. Back in 2019 or 2018, we lost one of our sisters at school to suicide, and I think that was when we clicked that we are still going through this hate towards us kind of thing, and bullying still tends to happen at school. We only seem strong because we all are together, and that's what gives us our strength to be ourselves at school, and it gives us the confidence to be ourselves as well. And this group alone has given us, will give us, and will continue to provide us with the courage that we are able, the courage we have, so that we can be able to move forward and not be scared to do anything just because we're known as the minority in our society, and that we can be ourselves and not be scared to be ourselves.
Do you have anything else? There's a lot. This is like a heavy issue too, because putting yourself out there can be scary, right? Especially having a group, and you get scared. Now you're putting yourselves in a place where people can say things to you guys. So what do you make sure that it makes you guys strong but empowered, like you said?
Pioluna umona fulasia so e tulanga na tulava e filma so associazione le università sa sostituilo yene ne vai tsao in fatsao for tulanga sala vo ne vai tsao ole mazzo associazione le aunga e messe lava mazzo fo e so ai ma sa se tulo sono for mazzo ai lo so fale fo e tsao ole fatsa tsala no tulanga e tsao ona mo mi e le siuso ole so swani fo ilea pia la tsote mna miele so swani oni si tulanga ele ngatsa fo ile ulanga la vai ya bolsi fuanga tsamata pa sono fo ole onga tulanga tsawa onga mi vai na so tsaba fo imatso umalava so swani fo pia na miele so swani ni si tulanga ole ona fo amatsono la male wala ona tsupuya tulanga fa pia ona no fo la tsamata mona matsianga one of some file lava share to another person on my file ole ona ya malama on sile lava fa to amoya ba ele fa pia so puro fa fitsa ole ona fa faule so sa to lo ai lo ya lava le sile mano no ai o so alo matsala mai molo na so ifua fa na so ifula matsala fo bi omisio awala manula tsifu isa tsamsama elma so ne fala kutsonga mole alwa fo ilo mona so
i tutunu la wale la umore NUS po i sino no tainga o le tere fa fine ia pena ye to sino utia sama to ia fo le auma ia sama to atu fa ta sia manisho fa fine ma to sing ia pecha ia ne wale to fio mai ma to fa ta si ai pera o tere no fa ta sim fa fine ia ole fesiri la fa pe o ia se poleale no tainga o tere fa fine ne tutunu ole NUS pole mea ua maupopo i le to whautonga pole mea o i iniso whatau te atu lava i le tōsos.
Ia whawhitai mo le whawhisili, Prince, ia o le tūlanga lea, o le tau amatamatanga lava o le asosi i le tūlanga whatu a whalarai nai. Sa e lava le whiti na inga o no lunga e o le malama i tūlanga sa matoria. Pa o le taimine ua e le lava le whianga i lato i mato te whai me whaatasi, sa tala noa e mpatino whaini sa mato pulkalami e whaatasi mo le tau sanga ato. Ai o le naunota inga na i mawhai o tata ai o mamai po la sofi fatso a au sia le tau sanga whaavai po le foundation o le tau sanga lava e o le tawhale ato ai so no le university o no le ilir mato no no tsa inga e tata ai mai mato te na lue whaatasi a wapea whaila a wato e sa tasi matau sanga o mali sunga ia te sile a onga i ona wapea whauna matu ua le university pa e lo e sina no tsa inga ana e aluawa onga ona whaida ona whaama sai matso asosi e la valuna whaamal malunga in e mwhai ona lualo e luma matonga lue whaatase maisi sui ai pe ona e tā ua whapena ona le tui awa iatu po nisi fo your friends whawhawhini fo isa iai le ai mato lava nano ta inga i mawhai lava ono socialize whaatase maisi maisa i whapea li ne e mawhai ona i e tato ia tusa o mai so se mea lava me whiona tato sa mawhai whaleo me whiona i le human rights ma nisi tulang whapea ia e mawhai lava ona tusa o malata so leo i tono ni tulanga e mawhai ona whalatino i le ngata i wasenga portala me whiele ha onga la pia fo e ia me whai tono le kalesia tulang salavo a pia malo pia pisane tule la whafsili prince no whala lava whafsai lava.
I think what I said earlier about your community always being strong, that's true, but sometimes that's just a mask. It does hurt. We're all human. We'll be right back after these messages. Samoa, and welcome back to Generation for Tomorrow, a youth talk show that talk about youth issues. We have a new host, that's Prince, that's right next to me. Unfortunately, CJ has left overseas, but he will be back probably in the next few months. But we're happy to have the amazing Prince with us to be our co-host. We also have the beautiful ladies from the NUS Fa'afafine Association Club talking about Pride Month and what Pride means. Again, if you're just tuning in, June is not only our Independence Month, but it's also Pride Month, where LGBTQIA community celebrate everything that's happening in their community, the laws, the celebrations, concerts, parades, on how much they fought to make sure that your young LGBTQ can have clubs in your university and be free. Do you feel free?
Getting there.
I think a lot of because I grew up with a LGBT nonprofit called Utopia. I understand that there's been people that paved the way for the young LGBTQIA community, especially Safa'a here in Samoa, and seeing that your group is paying homage to Safa'a and all the amazing LGBTQIA Pacific Islander groups, so that you guys can have a safe space. I think Prince wanted to had a few questions.
Thank you for the question, Prince. The parents' norms of raising a child is either boy or girl, and that's the way things have always been. There's no handbook, there's no guidebook for parents to raise children like us in a certain way, and I do not blame them if they do not allow their children to be a certain sexuality that they're not allowed to be. Samoa is a very conservative nation, and with our Christian values, it really does not connect in a way, and we always try to bring about the idea that at the end of the day, we're also human beings, and that no one is perfect. Do not let this flaw be the representation of our image as children, and to not let parents forget that we are their children, and to treat us as children still. And growing up, it always has been really hard. I myself have been raised in a very conservative home. Wasn't allowed, but I have no hate towards my parents. It's just the way that it has always been. I thank them for their guidance. I thank them for their protection and provision for me as I have grown old to be this knowledgeable and non-worrying, non-scared, not fearless person that I am. And I couldn't be grateful, and I wouldn't have wanted them to treat me any other way than how they have raised me to be who I am today. Thank you.
Whaftaila mole festili unfeona tasifa soile ni taimi ia pe ona fola tofo ele songa ya desni setulanga ia lai ona tupu ia le tulanga le apa ole atatu sila fo iai wa Samoa we fo sala le sono setatu tsno ale tulanga fo ile tose ina pole whawhailele mai fōi o mātou I tono ainga. Pei o se o manga ia lai ona ese ia le soifua o nisi whawhaiwhine I tono fōi o lātou ainga. Awa ai lava le lava le pule mātua le tātou pa o le tulanga le ai le sa o tātou whamasinoina mo tātou tu e tali atu I ai ai o le matua malama lava ia e ate ia le alofa whapea fo le whawesili fo le whanau awa o le tāua lea ua mātou whai fo le nei asosi ina e mawhai o na mātou whawhasoa e fo I whawhisau le lo I tupu I tono ainga awa mātou whawhawhine mātou se iloa le lava le whawhawhine o lo sau fo le aonga o lo sai tia se tulo o lo iai fo I whawhisau le o lo tupu I tono lātou ainga po lo iai fo le leo le aon le whawhine au fo ne iai ne o na tūlanga e loa I oi o se te mai pa o lo tau mea I tonu se tūlanga matango fie fo se tūlanga fo I tātou te le oi loa o lo ia te ia le se lumana I le fo ai o le tātou lao mo whaatausi o tono ainga tātou lao uma ia tātou talia o ia se whawhawhine o na tātou wa ailea o lo tupu ia se langa fia o le tūlanga fo I le ea lai ona ia fia e whaatino tūlanga pe o le tātou sila fia fo I lo ia te tālemi o tūlanga I se mai fo I mai awa onga pe a whapea fo I wale me whai o na whi awa wina le awa onga ai o le whaswani fo I ma o le ne tai au I nisi fo I whawhawhine ma tono fo I ainga tātou lango sua I ai mo tātou talia o lo tātou I loa fo I o le ina le loa lava I toinga tangata pe o le tātou mamla mai fo I tusipa ia I o tātou malama uma ai o tonu lava o tangata lava ia malona launa ta inga fo I lona I toinga tangata o lo ia te ia lava I tāne o lo I tono fo I tātou ainga I le ima fo I tātou lango sua ai na ia awane ia ini whakitau lia ai ona se ai lia o ne whai o mawhai a le whanau ona o ne tūlanga fo I lea ua tātou mia te saitia fo I ni upu e ono a fia I fo I le loto se tulo ma ono whai fo I la ia o nisi tūlanga I tua atu tātou tele o mai loa pe o nisi nau tali e ono tupu mai I o tātou mawhau pe a le ai le lango tātou ainga le fo I le ngaluinga whai a mātua pe o le sale atu le whawhasili prince
I think the biggest part is the support from your families and your parents to know who you are. We had Poetic last week, and he was saying he feels like the biggest reason why suicide is happening is because we don't know our identity. And if we don't get support of who we are, then we will never know who we are because we're trying to be something we're not. And if your parents out there and you're listening, you have to love your children, like they said before. The Whakawhine community comes with so much talent. They're not only the third gender, they're also, like you said earlier, all the talents. They're the Akulo leaders, they're the babysitters, they go to school, they take care of the kids, they do so much things. We need to make sure that we don't get blindsided and just put it under the rug, that they don't do if not more work than a regular girl or boy, and that's why they're the third gender. We'll be right back on this break.
You can hold it.
And they're so nice.
I told him.
Good morning, someone. Welcome back to Generation for Tomorrow, a youth talk show that talks about youth issues. We're excited. This month is not only Independence Month, that I said like 10 times, but it is also Pride Month. It's a celebration of LGBTQIA rights and celebration of everything that they've gone through, that they fought for, is celebrated this month. Again, I'm with my co-host, Prince, and then we just got Lonnie back. But we're here with the amazing NUS Faith Association, asking them questions on, everyday life for a youth in the LGBTQI community. That's not easy. We've been talking about always having that strong interior. We always see Fafafingas as, strong and they're fighters. But sometimes you get tired. You're human too. And we want to showcase this video from a very close friend that just messaged me the okay, Michaela Sailua, and I hope you enjoy the show.
So I was sitting in McDonald's one day enjoying my lunch, and a man sits down next to me and he's smiling at me. And I think, oh, hello, malo. And he says, wa mai oe. And I say, manuia fafsai. And the minute he hears me speak, I see his facial expressions change. And he asked me, and I laugh about it, and I'm a little annoyed. So just to piss him off a little bit, I say, and then he responds, and on he goes to lecture me about Christ. And on he goes to lecture me about Christ. So this poem is inspired by those types of interactions. And my hope is that it inspires you all to understand that us Papafini as well have spiritualities and also are part of the church. The poem is entitled The Journey Back. You see, nothing you're saying is new to me. And when I was younger, that kind of stuff really bothered me. I used to question myself often, doubt myself plenty, and wonder why God would give this burden to me. You see, nothing you're saying is new to me. Yes, I've heard about Sodom and Gomorrah and their sexual promiscuity. Yes, people have told me that God hates little boys who act feminine. Yes, I've been told that God made Adam and Eve and not Adam and Eve. And yes, I've been told that I can cure myself of this disease if I just truly believe. And as a child, that kind of stuff really bothered me. As a child, I wondered why everybody else got to be normal and I had to be the oddity. So you see, nothing you're saying is new to me. I've heard it all before, and as I grow older, I hear it more and more. As a teenager, I used to cry myself to sleep, wondering why my shepherd would abandon one of his sheep. And slowly but surely, into my self-esteem, the self-doubt and the self-hate would creep, taking me into a depression so deep that I lost my faith in God. So deep that I lost my faith in God. You see, I packed up my spirituality and everything that had to do with Christianity, and I sent it away in a box. But little did I know that God put a return to sender stamp on that box. And he was patiently waiting for the day when all my insecurity and questioning would finally lead to my awakening. So you see, nothing you're saying is new to me. I've heard it all before. The only new thing here is the new me. And the new me has some things to say to you. No longer will I let you make me cry. I will no longer let you define me, because the definition of who I am is too complicated for you to comprehend. So you can go ahead and pretend like I will burn in the end. But only God can judge me, my friend. I will no longer let you get in the way of my journey, because this journey has brought me so much self-discovery. And speaking of self-discovery, I would recommend you take your own journey, because it seems your hate for me is a reflection of your own insecurity. Or perhaps it's just plain old bigotry. But I will no longer let you invalidate my Christianity, because my God, he loves my individuality. And in Psalms, he reminds me that I am made fearfully and wonderfully. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And the seed you planted in me, it bore no fruit from that tree. So no longer will I believe that the God that died for you did not die for me. I will no longer hate God because of you. I will no longer hate myself because of you. I will no longer hate you, because my God, he commands me to love. Love as he has loved us. And that love, it is patient, it is kind, it does not bemoral others. That's the kind of love that I will spread. So this journey back, if it has taught me one thing, it's that that love will set us free. And you know, you're not that much different, you and me. Ultimately, we both want the same thing out of life, which is the hope and the life in eternity. Thank you.
That was a powerful message from Michaela Sailua, a really close friend of mine. She went to school in California, so I had known her through LGBT activist rights. She's also part of Utopia and other LGBT organizations when she went to school at UCLA. How does that resonate for the both of you? Especially we're talking about parents. Religion is another very issue that a lot of people try to bring up that go against the LGBTQ community.
Like Michaela said, nothing you're saying is new to me. We've heard it all before, from pastors to our parents to our families to our friends. We've heard all this religious backlash that we have faced, and it has definitely grown within us, and it has allowed us to grow thick skin as well. Religion is not an easy topic, but we have all grown from it, and to do something that how do we say it? I'll just say no one is perfect. There's no such thing as a bigger sin and a small sin. My cup of sin is the same as yours, and we have no right to judge. That is not our job. God told us to love, and that would be more than enough. And I say, love one another as He has loved us, and let Him be the only one to decide for us instead of one human being to another, because we all fall short. We all fall short of the glory of God, and you never know. Heaven awaits.
Ese foi tapua ina pape ekalesia pape ona taso awa iai ai ole maso foi a community ele fesi ele ale maso amasa fai oi faatino foi sono ekalesia tapia foi ia sono ole lotsu pe ona taso sila fea ole fame moenga foi leo au vai pesi tenga sailea o pokala ivea o langa salavo e sono o lau salavo e faapele se wina fo le malu le so se so pe fion so baba ai fo yai o se le so mai malanga ba ai e matso fa fine e ma fai ona matso now yai mo se le fo e sono le kalesia e pe le matso saulanga o se le lo mo le sua pe ona matso yai le sale ni le e sa fo o ya matso ona so fa fo le ya se e ma fai lava ona el man matso no sa inga matso te fia faya fo se mele mo ya ai o sono fo ila o kalesia ma le so sa inga le e fa fia au pe matso pe ona sa wetes ya o le solanga le e ma o se lava ya sa fo inga pe e sa ele o se le la so se fam salanga le so ai pe o le onisio actions ma wala po malwenga fai foi e ono iloi foi il tato atsono o fate foi le malu lau tele o lo ia te manzole no sa inga le religion po sono foi o le kalesia e le ngata e matso malwenga fai fate foi fate no isitula it sono la vole kalesia pe onisio awala ma fai ono matso na lue ai mam fai on ma so ma wa ai pe le o fa so le pulang salavo fa fini e sono se tato
I just wanted to share a personal experience with a friend that I have. This friend of mine came one time, and I could just tell. This friend of mine is a fucking as well. I could just tell he wasn't okay. So I asked him, and I tried to get him to open up to me, and he finally did. Sadly, it was in tears. He was telling me every time I go to church, this church leader comes to me, and he says, "You're not a girl. You should not be wearing those clothes. This is not who you are. This is not who God made you to be." And although that church leader said all those things to him, this church leader is also someone who he looks up to. But he just cried and told me how he knows. He already knows. He's heard it all before. But at least he's coming to church. At least he's trying. So I wanted to bring this story up as awareness for all of us that you do not know the inner battle that person is facing. So always be kind, do not judge. And to my friends out there who are suffering from this, I'm so sorry. But we are here for you and we love you and we support you. Thank you.
And like we said earlier, Samoa isn't, I always say if you can make it in Samoa, you can make it anywhere. And the things that we do value our parents, and we do value God and religion faithfully. But there comes a time where you need to know yourself what's right or wrong, especially for the LGBTQI community. I can't speak for you, I don't walk in your shoes, but know that you're loved. And that's the great part of you guys having your own group, is to make sure that your community knows you're loved, and no one can judge you, and only God can.
Ciao Leila, le tasi alfas fai upula na puinga mai le solo le ana fai nei fai mai le tala si ma finere pos fa finere fai mai. Only God can judge me, my friend. So pio sang kala le fai se kanga kolwa pinga unga amo tu foi le tu ngata le yo ya e fai fo no fa pio te lang ina ya na fa fine ona e ye ni se fa fine lo mo fai na tu tai ngali so ngai miki ati la tu e ni se fa fine lo la tu ta alo itali no ta lo tan pio la pi e le fa fine so ma tu no lo ta lo so ma tu a lo so pi lo so sa talu e o le fa fine e te ni ona winga fa fine ai ma tu te lo fa fine ai o le ala na ta lo ile dia fa fine ma tu ona te ni ma tu sorry my friend e tēnā mātou ula e si whawhawhine le mate whai e a tala whoina e whamali e o le afuanga na o whinaua e a si whawhawhine talo na mātou kipine e a unio mātou tui ula tui o i o le teine o i o le whawhawhine ai o te whawhtaine i whawhawhine o ne te lea sea o ngataua o le te unga whalesa o ni sine o ngaruenga e se male fia whawhawhine whai ai ma ai fwoi whawhawhine i sango si wanga nā whawhawhine e le matule le ainga e au le anga au fa fine uma o te whetau ia se fa fine e au le ala to te uma ia e au le ai a venene taimi o te whapea tui i ainga uma lava i si te sata tō atunu ia aua tātou te fosia le whanau e aua ni whaise mea o lo lātu te manau e whai awa elise o tātou te roloa lātou whalanguna tātou te roloa me o lātou manau ai te tono o lātou inga me manau e ela o matau o lātou whaiai pea te lo tālengi o lātou whaalia mai ai ati tātou e le ngate le o se fsoswani te lele mo ainga nu mai kalisia ia le ala whalfonga ai o lo iai le asosia whawhawhine i utia le papa ingalangala i NUS a tonu foi sosani te lele te tonu le laumua po le aunga ia awa foi a mea whai o le aunga pe o le whamaina lo toa te uino whale aunga ia a mea whapena Before
we go on a break, I think this is such a heavy topic, and everyone that's listening, I hope you're tuning in. Just remember, I'm just thinking for myself. I think Lonnie wants to say something.
I just wanted to say to just remember that the most important label you can put on a person is that they are a child of God. And that is what the Savior would do. And that is what Christianity and church is all about. No one is less than another because of their gender or their choices. Thank you.
And we'll be back on this break. Generation for Tomorrow. We are very excited and very emotional on today's topic. It's not only, again, Independence Month, but it's also Pride Month. It's a month to celebrate all the LGBTQIA issues that they fought for. This was something that happened in New York in America in 1969, where they fought for laws, no different from the Fa'afafine community in Samoa and American Samoa that have fought so hard. To have this young youth at NUS Fa'afafine Association here with us today, we're talking about what youth of LGBTQIA go through every day. We were talking about bullying issues, suicide, parents, religion, so many things that they have to go through to still look amazing as you see them today, this morning. And this is our segment where it's your turn to share your thoughts and your ideas and just give a word of encouragement to any young LGBT that's watching.
I wanted to get back to what Prince was talking about, but we were short on time on that last segment. The term ulangia, I think that is one reason why parents don't want their children to be fa'afafines or anything aside from boy and girl. Ore matsua valea se tulo, e manao e go through lang tame le tulanga. But I think it is one reason why we have grown to be to give less attention to this sort of thing. For it may look like it doesn't bother us that much, but like I've said during our small talk, that it may be funny to the ear, but it's hurtful to the heart. And going through these kind of situations have really allowed us to be more resilient to people. It has allowed us to read people before we even meet people. It allowed us to know the people better. And we know the people that dislike us, and we know the people that like us. And we have grown to be aware of these different situations to put ourselves away from it instead of involving ourselves, because it'll only lead to nothing but trouble. And we are very strong people when you see us, but I guess we just don't want to show weakness, because our identity alone is enough for the people to look at us any less of a human being. But I believe that if you're going through any situations where people make you feel less of yourself, just know that nothing is better than being yourself. Just prove to them that words won't bring you down. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but I will come back better and stronger. Life is like a washing machine, as we all do chores. Life can pretty much be a washing machine. You throw in the dirtiest laundry, and it comes out the best, and it comes out clean and better. And do not be afraid to be yourself. God sees you for who you are. No human being can read your heart, only God can. And do not be afraid. Thank you very much.
Okay, whaptai mole whaso, nei tūlau lea so, o le tele lava leo wa umona whaso atoi leo so ia des, i la peo fo imi se ofisi leo mawhai ona maa, salina fo le taso pukalame, whaptai fo le pukalame le salavo mo tae au, mo le whamanoina fo le taimi awa fo inisio maa, awa fo iniso fesilo mawhai ona maa salia ina i le taso pukalame ai o le avele nei tula e toi lava whamaro se ala fo ia i taso uma lava whawhawhine la i te fo i o la pia ona e nono ta inga e o atu i lunga le universite mo le whawawini o onga ia mo whai ona taso na lue whaatasi fo i ma so tau au fo i ma oso e so ane fo i mo whai ona whaatala noa nisi o tūlanga o lo mo mia e mo le fo i leanga nga whawhatai i le aso te sa whaa mo le whamalumalu fo i maso fo i whanau la e se pe ona silafia o le safia fo i o le society le a whawhawhine Samoa o lon silafia nisi fo i o tūlanga sa la so whatinoina e mawhai ona ngā lulu e fo i mawhasoane fo i so tatu atunu o le ngata i le mawatanga se ngase whaapele whasoane na pui whangalele mga lue ngā lofa fo i whaatino awala vale mo se manuia whaapea foi lo tātou vātna whai ai o le sosoari lava i le se o malanga foi o lama tia ai foi niso whaafine tātou te le o iloa le luma atu ma le luma nai foi o whaatale mai e lātou ia e pe tātou le onsa e o lava papale foi i mātua le pitola au mātua e siri lava le amasa ua e foi nano ta inga ina ia whaamalo se au ina ino tangata ina e mwhai ona e whai anisi mea e siri atu mo le na ia awane e le whai ati oe ma e nofo ai lava pa lo siri lava whai taso o lo masala mai e mwhai e ona taso whai anisi mea e mwhai foi ona taso nga lue whaatasi ai mai loa e foi se le lava le se nga ia i tatou whapea ia le imata mai sa ia wai ma whai ona tatou whai anga luenga ma pitola au wha le tupau le i le te whai le tupau sa mai sa so sa this is the benefit for us in e ma whai ona tatou showcase mai o tatou lawa tangata o lo i ai le powerful o lo i ai whamanu iange e tatou te tasi ia o le porkalame whale sai atua i le TV3 mo le porkalame matamorfia le talava morfia au e le songa whai a Prince whapea ni le pia ati mai sai nei o lo ma whai ona host le taso porkalame ia o le anganga whaatai la vai amal whaaisia o ma whai ona mawhia soa ma whai whai ona tatala atu nisi o no tanga o lo nufu mai mātou e na e ma whai lava o le mamlama se o tato atu no o awale solo nga manuia o le tato so i whanga male tato na whai le nei le nei o langa ia lo whanga lava sai
na wai me tatou porkalame po le whatatanoanga nei tai au ia o le nei sima upu o le mātou upu ia na o tō whaafonga ia i se tatou ina mātou whatatanoanga nei tai au ia e tā ua foi nei whawhawhini e peona tā ua e la ua e plimfiki la ua mai whai o whea o tamato e whai whea o whantini o le tā ua le nā ia e mori atu e foi le whamalo ma le whaftai e whawhawhini umalama Samoa so si whawhawhine ia monu tau sau si o tātou atunu ai le ngate lea ia mori atu foi whaftai le sunga ataris ia mori ma le pokalame mātango whiri ni tai au mwhai ona tō whatasi maniso le aso si a whawhawhine mori atu foi ia lo whaanga i so mātou team uso sa taro rugby club o lo whapena ona mai mo mai e mai so mātou ai nga umalava i tono Samoa tupulango Samoa mātou te o alofa te lava mo tō whaftai mai mo mai whaftai whatasi mai nei tai au manu e tere fōwhanga le aso tō whasoi fō